How can you execute what's commanded in the for you to be a righteous person? You know, because even ask the Muslims, what do it take to be a good Muslim? He gonna give you the commandments, right? Because they can't dream. They're not supposed to steal or kill or do all these different things according to the laws of God, not to the laws of Muhammad, because these laws were already in place. You know, it's just like somebody remaking a song that's a classic and then sit back and say, well, that's mine. And we're gonna be like, well, hold on, brother, I heard this song 10 years ago, what you doing? And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that doesn't understand historical context and the order it was given to us, and then they sit back and think Muhammad had the way. Well, so you mean to tell me everybody went to hell till Muhammad? Right. Isaiah 57. Isaiah 57 and 15. Go ahead, brother.
Isaiah chapter 57, verse 15.
Yes, sir.
For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy, I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. Verse 16, for I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wroth, for the spirit should fail before me, and the souls which I have made.
Yeah, it takes a humble spirit to receive the prophecies that the Most High reveals to those who diligently seek Him. Our own prideful, stiff-necked ways block us from His message. And we're going to be in the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and 10.
Excellent. Matthew 13 and 10, whenever you're ready, sir.
All right. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Now understand this. I'm going to give you some understanding. Christ would talk to the multitude in a parable, in a story-like form, right? There's a reason He's doing this, right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 11, and he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Right, the Most High, Christ is setting up a system. I'm going to talk to them in parables, right? So then when they need that parable understood, they got to come to the disciples, which will establish the disciples as the teacher of Christ's doctrine going forward. See, so because they ask him, why do you talk to us plainly, but you give it to the parables to the people? Christ has set y'all up to be the next set of leaders to go forward. Go ahead.
For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath.
Right, those that don't have faith, that have faith will be rewarded greatly. Those that don't believe and don't have faith, hey, they're going to be judged and doomed. Because if you don't believe that Christ is the only begotten Son that came to bring salvation, you're dead already. You know, I talk with these brothers and they this and that. You baptized, brother? No. Well, how are you telling somebody this or that and you ain't been baptized? You're shutting up heaven for everybody else and you ain't even got the keys to open the door yourself. That's what we're dealing with when you're dealing with our people when it comes to this information. You had something, brother?
Oh, this my people destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Verse 13, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
Neither do they understand. That's why, you know, we were speaking earlier. You can't dump all this information on people readily right away. It's going to scare them right away. You know, and I do it on purpose sometimes, because I bring up Godzilla all the time. I'm a big Godzilla fan. I was born in the 70s. And I'm linking them to let you listen, for you to understand this and get grasp of this. The world you're living in is all make-believe. This is all the red pill, brothers and sisters. When everything starts to come out the ground, these monsters start to come and start to bring judgment on this earth, now you're going to be living in the real world. Remember, there's a veil put up, that the Most High put up between the spiritual world and the physical world for a time. Then He's going to rip that veil. The same way when Christ died on the cross, that veil was torn. Well, the same way, that veil is going to be torn again, and you're going to see that spiritual interacting with the world again. It's not going to be a mystery if this or if that, especially once America is judged. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 14,
Yes, sir.
and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Verse 16, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Right, bless your eyes, the people in the congregation. The world ain't gonna hear or see none of this. Try to tell them they Israelites. we beat it on people. Listen, we trying to make you royalty. Nah, I'm just gonna stay black. I'm gonna stay just that N word that I know everybody puts out here and there every day. I'd rather be that than the Israelite. Hold on, you Judah, you got the scepter in your hand. Nah, I'm cool on that. But they want Black Lives to matter. Well, how much more would Black Lives matter if that came with a crown? Came with understanding. Did I say this a couple of weeks ago? Hitler was blackmailing the United. Hitler said that the Jews are going to blackmail America.
Yep.
Because the Jews are going to say, hey, we can just easily tell these black folks they're the Israelites at any given time, and your country's going to fold like a deck of cards. Because half your population are going to regret what they've done and rebel. So keep sending us $4 billion every 3 months. Y'all know that, right? America gives Israel $4 billion, and it's probably more now than before. But I thought Germany cast the Jewish people. Why is my tax money going? I don't. It's not for me to know. Right, you know? I tell people, you would sleep for 400 years. People don't get this. Think about it. You sleep for 400 years. You know the world economy was going on. You know they were making deals behind closed doors while you was shucking peas and picking cotton. And you didn't know how to read or write. That was 400 years of that. What do you think they planned on you for 400 years? Take a wild guess. You'll figure that out at home. But just imagine what they did for those 400 years you was in the dark and couldn't understand. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When any one heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. Verse 20. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Verse 21. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises, because of the word, by and by he is offended.
By and by he's offended. We deal with that a lot. People that come, I love the church. I love everybody in the church. And I just want to do everything from the church. One offense. I ain't coming back. I can't stand nobody up in here. All y'all phony and y'all going to hell because y'all with the devil. Brother, you just loved me last week. You just shook my hand and hugged me. Told me I was the best thing since sliced bread. Not me, but the doctrine. And yet now we the devil. Get used to it. Don't even be offended by it. Say, brother, I love you anyway. I loved you when you didn't know. I'm going to love you when you don't know, and I'm going to love you even when you don't know, because I know this love that I keep continuously, when you wake up and come back, you don't have to feel no type of way. Don't come to me, I'm sorry. You don't need none of that, brother. Your relationship with Christ is between you and Christ. If you figure that out with him, come up in here and continue to learn with us. I'm not here to judge now, brother. I got my own sins I'm dealing with that I got to fix. Keep it real. That's why the meek and humble, if I sit up here and say I don't have no sins and I'm up, that would be silly. That would call Christ a liar. So if I'm working and reading and studying, I know y'all better be working and reading and studying. How many times you fast a week, Sister Tanya? Now I'm to brag on her. On a regular. Her fasting keep me together. The unsaved husband will be saved by the wife, and the unsaved wife will be saved by the husband. It's teamwork. That's why Elder Ricard is so hard on us being married. Because this is a tag team event. This is no one to do it solo. Everybody needs another person to bring them forward. Single or even married, everybody's going to need someone to help them. Let the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. Meaning that the people that are strong in this understanding and knowledge should help the brothers that's coming in and being brand new. Not to be a tail bearer or a burden bearer on the person, but to uplift them and say it's going to be okay, because we've all been in that stage of life where we're coming into the truth and juggling what to believe and what not to believe, or how to put these things to assess them in our lives so we can be better Israelites. Go ahead.
Verse 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and becometh unfruitful. Verse 23. But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some an 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
Now understand this, I like that last scripture. That's why the Most High don't give a lot of us money. How many of us sit back with a daydream, I wish the Most High would bless me with $1 million? and we ain't gonna see you next Sabbath. I know that, because even if I get $1 million, I'm at least going on vacation, at least once. But a lot of people get money, and then now they don't need God no more, because the nations trust in their wealth. They trust in material gain. They're not putting their faith in the Most High. That's why the world gonna crumble like nothing. No one believes in what's solid. Everybody believes in financial gain, money. And once that money ain't worth nothing no more, then the love of many gonna wax cold. People gonna start killing each other they already killing each other for nonsense. It's gonna double and triple to where the dead are gonna be in the streets like dung, and no one there to bury them. That's how love is gonna wax cold. Officer.
Yes, sir. We have to learn not to take the word for granted in our prideful ways, because many have died and never had such understanding. Satan finds opportunities through prideful, foolish, to cause offenses, so the word becomes useless to some and they fall away from the truth. It is a scary thing to see a person turn their back on eternal life simply due to the prideful wicked of the heart.
Man, we got many examples of those particular things, of the pride of their heart stops them from serving the Most High. Let nothing separate you from the love of God. Nothing. Not your wife, not your friends, not your partners. We all got friends and different people that's pulling us away. Most likely it's family members. But so, your life ain't going all that good. How you gonna tell me where I should be at on Saturday? You know what I'm saying? It's funny that the people that's going through the most has the most advice to give. Good advice is hard to take like bad medicine. You need the medicine, and it tastes horrible, but it's good advice. It's good for you. But we don't see it that way, because we take criticism as destructive instead of constructive. It wouldn't hurt to do this, brother. It wouldn't hurt to do that, sister. Hold back. Don't be emotional. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. Everything you think, you ain't got to say. Those are the simple attributes that we can do to love, to get along with each other. Because I say this often. Go through the commandments and see which commandment is based on God. It's only one commandment based on God. Love God with all thy heart and all thy soul. Right? Then it goes to your brother. And every commandment going forward is on how you execute with your brother. Because ain't no fighting in heaven. Ain't going to be, I don't like Brother Kurt in heaven. That's not. If you can't get along in this little room for 2 hours, you going up here for eternity to not get along?
Nope.
No beefs going. Ain't gonna be no Crips and Bloods, no Latin Kings, no P Stones.
Chance to get it together.
None of that is crossing over. None of that. Bad attitudes. I don't love this person.
That Disney song? Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
You're not taking it with you. Ain't no use of letting that burden bear you down.
Seriously.
Love your brothers and sisters, because believe me, when the military go through the streets, brothers and sisters, y'all gonna love you. Y'all gonna wish you had the brother that you couldn't stand.
Time is up.
Love each other. Second Ezra 15 and 14.
Yeah.
Yes, second Ezra.
All right. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Destruction to the world and those that dwell therein. Go ahead.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and sword in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Men shall be afraid. This is the destruction that's coming on the face of the earth. And all these are going to befall everywhere, not just specifically America, but everywhere on the planet. No one's going to help each other. Food is going to be scarce. It's going to be destruction on a high level. That's why if you don't love each other now, and we got everything we need, what you going to do when we only got a king amongst a whole church of people? Kids eat first. How many spirits going to change that?
I see an old man kick a woman in the back for Nintendo 64 Christmas time.
So what we going to do with the last key and the greens and beans?
We had 200 Nintendos and everybody's at the gate. So imagine what's going to happen when people looking for it.
Right. How many people died just running into the mall, getting trampled? Oh, a couple years ago when they all went to the Kaaba and they had a big incident, and remember they trampled everybody. Like
Ain't
about
that stamp siege out
300
there?
people died. 300 people died to get to their God. I'm gonna step on your face to get to the Kaaba. And that's what we do to each other. So where's our lie? But we ain't, Christians ain't no better. Israelites ain't too much better. But at least we strive, right? But no one is walking through this with no blood on their hands.
These lessons are for us.
Right. Not for the world. The world ain't gonna hear none of this, brothers and sisters. I was talking to the brother, I'm bringing the Muslim brother. He think that Islam was spread through love and understanding. Oh, Allah's God. Yep, sign me up. No, brother, Muhammad had a sword. As a matter of fact, I even hit him with Slumdog Millionaire. You know, there's a part of Slumdog Millionaire how they became orphans, where they was in a pool bathing with their mother, and the Muslims ran in and busted a woman in the head with a bat, bathing with 2 kids. That's how they became orphans in Slumdog. So they're letting you know that Islam was not pushed through love. It was pushed by the tip of the sword, murder, like every religion you're dealing with. So this universal love idea has been a delusion to God's people since the beginning. You're right? If you do the
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Western world and its proud and selfish doctrine will be at the core of the reasons why Babylon will be destroyed. If we hope to avoid the destruction, we must put down our old prideful, foolish ways, because prophecy will happen whether you get on board or not. So we're going to be at 2nd Ezra, that's chapter 8, 46, still in the Apocrypha.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 46. Then answered he me and said, things present are for the present, and things to come for such as to be to come. Verse 47. For thou comest far short, that thou shouldest be able to love my creature more than I.
So Esdras is asking the Most High, why, if we're your people, why are you letting these calamities fall upon our people? So now the Most High is telling Esdras, you can't love my people more than me. So that's where he's setting up the premise of that statement. Go ahead.
But I have oftentimes drawn nigh unto thee, and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High,
Right.
in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Verse 51. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Ye perfect goodness and wisdom.
That was it?
No, yeah, that was it, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I'll read the
Go ahead.
content. Esdras was blessed because of his humility and was shown great things. The biggest thing the Father keeps mentioning is our pride, and especially puts emphasis on it as a sign of the last days. We, even in the truth, talk proudly and speak things against the Most High and those he sent to give us the truth. We are siding with Satan by default, locking ourselves out of the kingdom through our own wickedness.
Right. Now, let me give you guys a little background for those who don't know. Esdras is the prophet that gave us the scriptures. What you're reading right now in your Bible in the Old Testament comes from Esdras, because the Gentiles or the Edomites burnt down the temple and burnt up all the scrolls. So Esdras got with how many men was it that he called? Like 40? Was that 50? Yeah, it was 50-some men. And Esdras prophesied day and night and gave us what we have now, the material. So the Most High dealt with Esdras and re-gave him what he gave Moses and the prophets. So then now we can have this for our reading going forward. So now the Most High is like telling Esdras, you good. You've done righteous work. You've never broke the laws of the Most High. So I'm going to give you and show you great things. So Esdras was shown everything. Moses was shown everything. See, people don't understand there's certain prophets that were shown everything. Moses was one of the prophets that was shown everything. Enoch was another prophet that was shown the beginning and judgment. Paul was shown judgment. You know what I'm saying? Daniel was shown. So there's certain people that were shown how things started and how things are going to bring forth judgment. That's why when you read the Bible, you see the disciples sitting in different directions, just explaining what they see from the directions they see. So then when you go into Revelations and read on John of Patmos, you're seeing all the scriptures being linked together at the judgment of the end of days. And so Ezra is asking questions like, okay, if you love us so, why are you letting this happen? Why are you letting the Gentiles take us over? Why are you letting the temple being destroyed? And the Most High is like, you can't love the people more than I do. But because my people are being disobedient, the wages of sin is what? Death. So death had to come into Israel to show them a certain level of understanding that, hey, you have to repent from your ways. Just like now, what's going on in our community? Death through drugs, gang banging, killing each other, police, the water, COVID, the air, when they spray chemtrails through it, that's aluminum. They're bringing down your immune system. So now you're subject to all the diseases instead of having that scripture being prophesied, one nation going to be stronger than the other. That's why they have to spray the sky. That's why the water is full of lead. That's why the fish are full of mercury. These are military moves being brought against not only God's people, but remember, Satan is going to kill all flesh. No one has a safe place in this. No one is in a safe little corner. Satan is going to turn his back and betray everybody that's linked in with this. All right, we're going to go into Sirach, chapter 10, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 12. Yes, Charles.
Sirach, chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. The Most High hath cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. The Most High hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place. Verse 16. The Most High overthrew countries of the heathen, and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away, and destroyed them, and hath made their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. Verse 19. They that fear the Most High are sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
Yes, sir. Officer.
Yes, sir. It was through pride that sin entered into the world, and it is through pride that sin still survives. Instead of praying for humility, we entertain wicked thoughts which are against the Most High. We must come from a humble mindset, understanding that we have things which make us filthy before the Most High. If we don't find humility, the Father will find ways to replace us.
Exactly. In other words, one monkey don't stop no show. Believe me, people, but you'd be surprised when people sit back and think they the monkey that's gonna stop the show. Every monkeys eat bananas, all monkeys swing from vines. They don't ask you much more of that than monkeys. But we're once again, our arrogance. I ain't coming no more. All right, don't. Shalom. Yeah, after about 2 and 3 weeks of sitting at home looking at cartoons, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna start to desire to be around your people again. And this is what we do. We love you anyway. Come on back. Don't even mention it. Because believe me, when you left, Charles, you know me, I'm busy all the time. Do we have time to care about that? We love y'all.
Train keep rolling.
If we, okay, Sister Tanya ain't coming, I can't teach no more. No, my job is to do this. If it was only 4 people here and we can pay the rent, hey, you're gonna be sitting here with 4 people teaching a lesson. Preach to the wind, right? Because these words are gonna go out regardless. He said, I have the rocks cry out. So if he gave me the opportunity and chance to teach and bring forth information, I do that humbly and with the aggression. I did everything else with aggression, loud and wild. When I was in the club, I was the loudest cat in the club. Y'all can imagine I'm the loudest guy in the club, right? Y'all can imagine that, right? 2 drinks in my hand. Yeah, my arms up like this, dodging everybody. Yeah, that's me. And I waste my drink on you, keep on walking like it ain't. So if I'm aggressive in the world with that, how much more so should I love the Most High? And we lose that. We got to keep that same aggression, that same blood that we gave to the world, give it to the Most High. We're going to 2 Colossians. Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 10 and 5.
All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Meaning every thought you had in your head, act like Christ is standing there reading. All of them, the good ones and the bad ones. That's what they're saying. Take every thought and make it obedience unto Christ as if he's reading because he is. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
Right.
When your obedience is fulfilled.
That's the key. When your obedience is fulfilled, who you can tell somebody they doing wrong and you doing wrong? That's arrogance. That's what the Most High is doing. Hold on, humble yourself. For me to come and correct you or clean, tell you your yard dirty, my yard need to be lined up, cut, and in order. And that's a lot that we're going. That's what's wrong with our people. Everybody got an opinion on the internet. Everybody's Superman behind their screen, right? But then when you call them on the things they didn't put out there, well, I didn't mean it that way. Well, if you're going to put out a statement that's not clear, it's best not put it out at all. Stand on what you say, or don't say it, because people going to call you on it. Now, I could care less. I don't care what you think about what I'm thinking, because I'm going to give you out the scriptures how I feel. I'm not going to give you my personal opinion, because my personal opinion was we just all become superheroes and clean the earth up. But that's not how the Most High works. So then now my opinion must be based on these scriptures. So then now you can't argue with me. Well, the scripture said that, brother. What you going to do? It's not between me and you. And that's where you have to make this. When we have conversation, man, Charles had to always preference people to let them know, this ain't between me and you. I'm just quoting what's here. You have to decide if you want it or not. All right, officer?
Once we attain a certain level of humility towards the Father, we are able to properly help others understanding his ways. Every good teacher was a student first in order to bring understanding to others. Let's go to Proverbs 16 and 17.
Yes, sir. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 17. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and as a haughty spirit before a fall. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud.
Right, then to divide with the spoil with the proud, because the lonely are going to have the spoil. It's the proud that's going to go out and cause wars and take things from people, and then their spoils are going to be divided. But like anything else, it has blood on it. So you're going to have blood on your hands when you're dealing with the proud and divide the spoils with them. Right? That's why the Bible says it's impossible for a rich man to go to heaven. Why? Because a rich man is not going to base his understanding on Christ's deliverance. He's going to base his understanding through deliverance through financial gain. Go ahead.
Verse 20. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Most High, happy is he.
Right, because when you have an altercation with someone, if you divide that altercation through the words of God, then you can gain your brother. But if you just take it from the world, it's a fight. Right, I just want to hit my hand, down hit him. Now, we running because everybody's shooting at each other. Because that's how brothers do. We argue for a minute, we get emotional, and then everybody pull guns. You know what I'm saying? And over the most silliest things. You cut in front of me in line. You at the gas pump, I want it. That's my favorite seat. I don't like your mama. And it never ends. And I'm not making that up. There's a girl who was 17 years old, 18 years old, got into a fight. She was trying to protect her mama, and the girl put out a gun and killed her. So you got into a fight, and your daughter get killed. Where we at? Just somebody got to wake up and like, is this worth it? You mean to tell me our argument leads to where I want to take everything who you are off this planet over our argument? I'm so selfish that I get to take you from your family and your children. That's why we're dealing with this. You're meek and humble. I don't even think to dare to take someone off the planet and away from their family because of my disagreement with them. How does that equate for me to take you off this planet? But then when you go to the Lord, forgive me though. You didn't give out no forgiveness. But you want forgiveness when you're standing in front of the Most High. Hypocrisy. That's why I'm like, hey, brother, whatever you think you did, you forgive it with me. Don't even worry about it. I got too many other things. I'm offended by the people that's poisoning the candy. Because I love Snickers. That's what I'm offended about. I'm offended by those drones that's flying and leaving a line in the sky 12 miles long full of aluminum. I'm offended by that. But you're offended because I got on some red shoes or a blue shirt. That's what you're offended for? What about the Lords of London that made billions and trillions of dollars for 400 years on our slavery? You ain't mad at them? No. We mad at each other in the ghetto over crack and weed and guns. That's when I want to do my killing in my neighborhood. I don't want to do it on an international level where I can talk and use my mouthpiece to bring forth justice, which ain't gonna come. I want to kill my brothers in the street over a pack of cigarettes.
They call that crabs in the barrel.
I'm gonna kill you over a bootleg CD.
They're only dangerous to themselves.
Only from my mouth, from my hands to my mouth. That's all I care about. And anybody that get in between these spaces, I'm killing. That's my people. I don't need to blame nobody else for that. That's my people. Who am I mad at for that? How many traps do we got to see that don't work no more and then we still fall into it? Who am I mad at now? Fool me once, shame on you, Charles. But when you give me the second time, whose fault is that? When did we take responsibility for ourselves and stop pointing at everybody else? Oh, they doing this, they doing that. I'm not saying forget about it. I'm saying take responsibility for your own actions. Where was racism when you was drinking? Where was racism at when you was fighting? Where was racism at when you was gangbanging, killing your own people and selling drugs in your neighborhood? Where was it at then? You was fine with it then, be fine with it now. You have to check, clean yourself up, brother, before we can run at the other nations and say, y'all the devil. Well, the devil is working in Israel just as well as he's working in Esau and all the other nations.
If not better.
If not better. Me and my wife watch videos on how many sisters are converting to witchcraft. You know how many single sisters converting to witchcraft? I don't mean to call nobody out. How many people got devil tattoos? Don't tell me. Little pitchforks.
That makes it easy for the Most High to purge the rebels. Those who they are.
Let's go. I ain't want to go no deeper now. Where we at?
Commentary, my brother.
Yes, sir. What was yours?
It is better to be in a low estate with those who follow the Most High in humility than to celebrate with those who are spoiled and have no need of the Most High. Pride always comes before something becomes destroyed. And we're going to be at Isaiah 14 and 12.
Go right into it, brother.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will send into heaven.
Now, you know that word right here is sin, right there is Allah. You know that word is also NASA. You did, that's NASA. NASA is backwards, it's a Satan. NASA's going to put technology in the sky through Satan to continue to do his work in the heavens. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side to the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. That's what everybody keep leaving out. Satan is going to appear as an angel of light and bring forth religions to deceive God's people. Right? Because Moses did not get a religion. Moses got laws. Noah didn't get off the boat or the ark with a religion. He got off the ark with the Noahic laws that they were following pre-flood and told the son to continue in these laws or you will bring forth another flood. See? I don't deal with religion, brother, because when my fathers was operating, they weren't operating under the term religion. Religion is a Greek word. So that word wasn't even brought forth to our understanding or our lexicon until the Greeks operated. So we're not dealing with religion. You let the nations deal with religions. You let the Jewish people deal with Judaism. I'm bringing you these laws, brother, sister. Do you want them? Yay or nay? Not finna debate with you. We get a lot of it. Let's debate. No, brother, you keeping these commandments. You know you're Israelite, and everything else can work out yourself. If you're gonna keep these commandments and you know you're Israel, we'll figure everything out in between as long as we love each other and prefer each other. Because it ain't for, if we debating each other about what God is what, when the Gentiles and other nations see us, what they gonna do? Oh, they ain't even got it together. Why am I following them? So to keep that down, let's just deal with being Israel and keeping commandments. Everything else will work itself out. Let's do that. You keeping the commandments, brother? I mean, when I was talking to the brother, I'm like, you keeping the commandments, brother? You Israel? Then we good. What does the other talk about? Right. And he just got stuck in it. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't need to debate with you about what name you believe in and this and that. That's fine. Christ will deal with that. Let's just deal with keeping these commandments and knowing we Israel. Then furthermore, then I'll let Christ do the rest. Because you don't want to be in the way of Christ. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Meaning Christ is going to bring forth understanding or judgment to who do or who don't. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms?
Right, right. In other words, Satan gonna be a little bit nerdy dude. We're gonna be like, this is the guy that caused the whole earth to flip upside down? Yes, because of our arrogance, because of our disobedience. Go ahead.
Verse 17. that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot.
So it's telling you that Satan will be utterly destroyed, beat down, and cast into the bottomless pit. Go ahead.
The same spirit dwells at the very basis of all sin. We figure we can do things some other way instead of the methods the Most High put in the scriptures, and through pride we fail. We become proud and, in essence, look to be gods over ourselves, as if we can rule things better and have a higher understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Oprah was trying to tell you. Oh, we're gods. Well, we're gods. We are horrible at it. I'm the poorest guy. I need a God that needs a God, because I'm praying. Because right now, hey, I got a decent life, but I'm striving every day. There's nothing godly. The only thing that's God about me is made in the image. Come, let us make man in our image. And the more righteous our walk, I can emulate or look like Christ. That's what I'm striving for. Remember, Christ is going to stand in front of you before the Father saying, either I know you or I don't. And the more you mimic Christ, the better your chances are. Because no man knows his day, but yet and still, if I strive like Christ, then with these commandments, I have a chance and opportunity to receive salvation. All right, where we at here? Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15. Only the Most High had the delight in thy fathers to love them.
Now understand that these fathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Don't let it be like, oh, our father, that's Abraham, that's Ham, that's nah. This is the Most High grabbing Abraham and then now starting the bloodline from there, because Abraham is the first to have a covenant with the Most High and his seed, not seeds, seed, S-E-E-D, Isaac after him. And then Isaac, then Esau and Jacob, and Esau sold it to Jacob. So here's the bloodline being edged out and determined and assured to be the chosen people going forward. Go ahead.
Only the Most High had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed
No
after
S, just seed. Go ahead. After them.
After them, even you above all people, as it is this day.
Right, so when you were set above all people, what happened? You think everybody ran up, oh, you the prettiest girl in the beauty contest. No, they start messing with your makeup, hiding your wigs, tearing your outfits, right? Because next year they want to win, right? But they not understand this is done. This judgment and this prophecy that was given to this child was done before they even can execute, before any child had done anything right or wrong. For election's sake, Jacob was already chosen. There's nothing to be done for this. So because of that, they chose the God, Yahweh, the Canaanite God, the God that gave them a technology. See, they doesn't go up to Satan just because he was there. Satan offered technology, brothers and sisters. That's how Nimrod was able to build a tower to heaven. Because we know you can't build a tower to heaven, but what can you do? Portals, windows, technology. See, people don't get it. All the technology was made in the beginning. When the Most High said it is finished, that means that's everything that you can think of according to technology was there. Right? And people don't get that. Before man was born, before there was any earth, brothers and sisters, there was a war in heaven amongst the angels. Lucifer and his angels was cast out. There is no earth. There is no men at this particular time going on, because Satan is going to come into the center of space and build a universe and cover it in darkness. Before any man, there's no earth. And so when the Most High said, let there be light, Christ is shining light on the darkness that Satan had created. And when the angels that were with Satan saw the light beaming and the light was destroying their city, they tried to fly off and a bubble was frozen around them. There's your atmosphere, and there's your first ice age, because the water inside the bubble froze. So when he lit the hill on fire, the city that Satan was building on fire, it melted the ice. The residue of the destruction cleaved to land on one side, water on the other. There's your beginning of life. Now it is good, because now the angels that were cast out are chained up in Hades, and now goodness can be brought forth on the earth. Now men can be set there and creation can go forward, and then now you have 1,000 years as a day unto the Lord, as everything is put together for that first 7,000 years to bring forth life. While the angels of Bob and Lucifer was given a reprieve and come out and then to tempt Eve. And now you get the story going forward. So before there was any man, there was war and technology, brothers and sisters. Simple enough. So when Hitler goes to look for stuff, that's why they dig. Because they're going underground to find what was there from the beginning, technology. It's not a hard one to put together, but you got to know the story and have faith in the Bible so that now you can go it together and it all makes sense. Where we at here at the commentary?
Verse 16.
Okay.
Rest of verse 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked.
Be no more sick now. So who was the first to be asked to be circumcised? Abraham. Showing you the covenant that was established and the fathers that they loved, that the Most High took delight in loving. Officer?
We should be eternally grateful that the Most High has chosen us again, even after all the wickedness we have done. Our minds must now become pure and understanding we don't deserve his mercy at all for what we have done. Amen to that. In humility, we must understand we are worthy of death, but because of his word, which is free from lies, we are preserved.
We are free from lies. Meaning this word of God, this Bible, is free from lies. So then through studying, precept upon precept, line upon line, we will be preserved to the destruction that's going to fall on the face of this earth. Let's go to Romans chapter 2, verse 25. Officer, whenever you're ready, sir.
Romans chapter 2, verse 25. For circumcision verily profiteth, if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision.
Right, because the circumcision is not done with hands anymore. It's not done in the flesh. Now you have to circumcise your heart. So if you haven't done that, being circumcised has no value when it comes to your judgment. Oh, I'm circumcised, but you broke every commandment. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?
Meaning if the uncircumcised, the Gentiles, keep the laws of God, even though they're uncircumcised, should they not continue to walk in the law represents their circumcision? Because it's the heart now, it's not the flesh. Go ahead.
Verse 27. And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law?
Right, meaning that because you're not circumcised and you transgress that part of the law, are you going to go to hell for that? Go ahead.
For if he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. Verse 29. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart.
And circumcision is that of the heart, meaning this physical circumcision is not necessary no more when Christ has now came. Now I need for you to execute what's in your heart, because you can circumcise your member and still treat everybody like garbage. Remember the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were circumcised, but they were raving wolves, hypocrites as Christ called them. So it's not what you do on the outside, because we can all dress up and be perfect Israelites. Beards, dreads, fringes, everything, long, and yet still hate each other and not get along. Right? We got Israelite groups that won't even deal with each other because of that. So then now, the Most High is telling us it ain't about the flesh no more, brothers and sisters. If you ain't ready to circumcise your heart and love each other, thick or thin, you can't come and say you love me. How can you say you love your father? I mean, you love the Most High, who you're not seeing, and you hate your brother, who you see every day. It's not going to work. You can't say you hate your brother and then love God. A river can't flow bitter and sweet. We have to determine, are we going to love each other, or we going to hate each other? Because this is where hating got us. This is where hating each other got us. Right where we sit in America, serving. Let's try loving each other for a couple of days. See what happens. I wish black folks could love each other for 1 week. You see what happens. Nobody kill each other. Everybody get along. Right. We'll almost have a step towards the kingdom. But that Monday, that Monday, the city gonna burn down. Because all that aggression gonna be pit in. Man, we don't know how to love each other. We really wanted to love each other. Because if we really wanted to love each other, we have to examine ourselves. Why don't I love my mom? Look at yourself. Why don't I love my daddy? Look at yourself. Who don't love their mom and dad?
We don't want a hand raised on that one.
No, I don't know nobody doing this.
Keep that quiet.
But you see what I'm saying? The same person you gonna need, you hate.
Listen, he's right. We can make it to the wilderness, but if you're hateful, you can come in every Sabbath, you can do all the jobs, whatever. You're gonna get purged out. So
Yes. It's not a question.
I'm trying to tell you, take these lessons in. It's not just us talking up here on stage.
No,
the
we've
car's
been
not
through
just
it.
putting a show on to put a show on. So if you're here, you want to make it, then make it.
Because believe me, this is pretty much what's going to be coming out of America. Listen, 10 to every city. That's what the apostle is telling me. 10 people are walking out of Phoenix. Well, I already got 2 seats, so 8 now. Right? Right? And you should be saying the same thing. Well, nigga, I don't know. It's 6 left. You feel me? Because that's how I'm operating. Now, operating, the Bible says, save who?
And
Yourself.
remember,
Yes, sir.
those 10 that come out of the city, how much of those can get purged in the wilderness? Don't
Right.
think you make it out in the wilderness, we're good.
Good.
It's like, nah, that's just the start.
That's right. That's the beginning of this. This is the beginning of sorrows, brothers and sisters. We haven't even started the sorrows yet, and we don't like each other.
Imagine you go to Mount Everest, you make it to the top. Oh, we're losing. Cut
Yeah.
me off, brother.
Right, right. See, now we fighting at the
That's why I
mountain.
put Q back. So imagine, the trip is to get to Mount Everest, you're at the top, and now you gotta slide down. Once you look down, you're like, this is the trip.
This is the trip, right?
So imagine it that way. Getting out of the kingdom, now you're at the top of Mount Everest, and now you're in that slide going down.
Slide down.
That's a hard, no matter how you look, that's a rough road.
Man, it's harder to go down the mountain than it is up.
Exactly. You go hiking?
Yeah, it's,
You make it to the top, you're just okay. You can look back down like, oh man.
Man, now you gotta do it all backwards. Yeah, now I gotta
How
go
we
all
getting
backwards.
down?
Right. And if it ain't the brother underneath you or the sister above you,
That's right. We used to. Matter of fact, we gotta hike this winter. We're hiking.
I ain't going with him. I'm going hiking by
You
myself.
don't
We're gonna
need
have
to.
2 teams. Cause he
We
took.
will. I'm gonna split it up.
Yeah, he
We're
took
gonna
my
have
knee
the
up.
basic and the advanced, but we're going
Go
hiking.
back, right?
No, I'm straight.
No, you wasn't straight afterwards.
I was.
You almost had a
He
wife
trying to
afterwards.
solicit people because he hurt his knee.
Yeah, my knee swole. I'm like, ain't doing
Now,
that. Nah.
you know what? We do got to split it up
Yeah.
because you gain it over time. Because even when I first started, I'm like, oh man, it was hard. So we'll have the advanced and basic, but we got to get trained. There's
Yeah.
no 2 ways about it.
Got to.
You can't do an Exodus if you're not in shape.
You can't understand.
They're not going to be limos driving you around.
No. And remember, no gas. How many people gonna be at the gas station when everything go down? Arco, Circle K. You think
So-
people actually clocking to work when the world is coming to an end? So you can get a full tank of gas?
Mentally wrap that around your head. You're going to have to start learning how to walk.
Yes.
Period.
Period. Get out there. Might as well start now. I'm walking with the babies, and
As long as you walking, it don't matter.
I'm with the little kids. Yeah, we gonna have
As long as
candy
you
and tell
walking.
stories. Cause I know I'm not a good walker nor a runner. I'm a sprint guy. Huh? Let's get there and be done. That's how I am.
You're going to be like Pharaoh. You're going to have people carrying him.
Yeah. Oh no, I ain't gonna be
That's
carrying
in his
but
head. You better get walking, brother.
man, I got to. I'm a horrible guy. I don't even go on the treadmill at the gym. I'm all weights. All
I'll be
weights.
like, where's Ricard at? Because this one ain't going to make it.
Right. Yeah, if I'm the elder, tell them I'm in the back. Yeah, y'all come back and get me.
All right.
Where we at with this? Yes, sir.
The rest of 29.
Yes, sir.
And not in the letter, Salaki, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High.
Right. I mean, in the spirit, not in the letter, because the Pharisees added letters to the law. Wash your hands before you eat. Take a bath before you come into the temple. All these different letters to the law that has nothing to do with the commandment. Transgression of the law is breaking these commandments. All that other stuff they add to it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So they can cut that out. Officer?
Yes, sir. Our holiness must come from within. Fringes and big beards are not what's going to get you into the kingdom. The learning of humility is a key within, being considered a true Jew before the eyes of the Father. Our concern should be how we are functioning in the eyes of the Father first, instead of the eyes of men.
Say the eyes of man. Yes, sir.
And we're going to be in Baruch chapter 2 and 27.
Yes, sir. Go right into it, bro.
This is Baruch chapter 2, verse 27. O Most High, our power, thou hast dwelt with us after all thy goodness, and according to all that great mercy of thine. As thou hast speakest by thy servant Moses, in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they will remember themselves.
Hold on. Where we going to remember ourselves?
In captivity.
Right. Where we at?
And in their captivity.
And then now we're starting to remember we're Israelites, fulfilling another prophecy. Because, there's people that don't believe the Bible is real. So we just operating that way. You got me on the mic, brother? Am I all right? All right, now you good. Go ahead.
Verse 31.
Yes, sir.
And shall now that I am the most, and show now that I am the Most High their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name.
So where we gonna get his name at? In captivity.
Captivity.
So when we came into the captivity, Jesus was already here when you woke up. What name was revealed to you through prophecy and precept? I am that I am. Go ahead.
Verse 33, and return from their stiff neck,
Right.
and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Most High. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers.
Right, so we gonna stay here in America? Or are we gonna fulfill the prophecy of being brought back into our land for following these commandments? Like anybody else, you respect a reward or a pay for when you do what's right according to the Most High. Well, when you do what's right, when you strive through this, you will be given back your land. But we know there's steps and processes that must be gone through before we go into the land, but yet and still you will be given back your own land. So Detroit ain't your home, right? Las Vegas, Philadelphia, New York, these ain't our homes. These are just giant FEMA camps with stoplights. Believe me, because when any time we try to leave America, the person that led us was killed. So however much they say, go back to your own country, be like, well, leave me alone. Don't shoot me in the back as I'm getting on the boat. Right, don't put the bomb on the airplane when we taking off. Let us alone. Because everybody know, wherever y'all go, y'all become the world power, blessings of that country. Everywhere you go, America, us. Europe, us. Egypt, us. Babylon with Daniel, us. Everywhere you want to get a superpower, you better have these black folks, these Israelites in your pocket. Because if not, anybody that has them, why do you think America don't want to let you go?
Right.
Right. Judah get back over to Europe and then help the British get into power again. Like when King James sat on the throne. They, as much as they hate you, as much as they need you, just do it that way. And they really, really hate you. I promise, I'm watching the videos.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's bad. It's not against them. Hey, do you blame them? If God chose your people over my people, I see the animosity, right? But if I know the power of your God, I'm just gonna have to humble myself and bow down. Because I see the power of your God. So it's a decision to make. But once again, vanity. Go read Obadiah. I tell people all the time, read Obadiah. You're gonna love it when you read Obadiah. It gives you I don't want to give you a level of arrogance, but it gives you a level of understanding in that, hey, at the end of this, you receive rest. If you stay humble in me. Because this is a battle between brothers, and the Most High hate what? Brothers fighting brothers. That's why he don't give you revenge in the way you want. Because you'll have the same spirit as Esau and Cain of hating and killing your brother. And the Most High don't want the spirit of Cain and Esau up in you. Because that same spirit that was in Cain, guess who inherited? Esau did when he sold his birthright. And he despised the birthright from that point going forward. The same way Cain despised his birthright once he was cast out. See, but if you don't read the Bible, you can't link those spirits and you don't have that understanding, and then you're going to walk around and think everything is relative. Y'all just fell into slavery. But where everybody else slavery at? Where's their movie? Where's their Kunta Kinte? You know that we the only people got a Kunta Kinte. Y'all know that ain't real, right? You know Kunta Kinte was in another book and Alex Haley didn't really write groups. That's why Alex Haley died as a poor man. Y'all know that? Yeah.
They all died poor.
They all, because they don't write this stuff. They're giving it and then they present it to you as a package. Where we at, brother?
The rest of 34.
Yes, sir.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
And they shall not be diminished. That's the promise that the Most High has given us. That's why you can take us to the meal, and yet we're still the most populous people on the planet.
Yep.
The Bible says you're going to be like the sands of the seas. Now, just because we don't know who we are, still doesn't determine a bloodline. All right? Officer.
Yeah, good and popular. The Most High told Moses that we would have to break the pride of our people before we could receive the kingdom to come. That process of breaking our pride is not over and will come with great destruction before we will receive the kingdom.
Yeah, you can't. As much as I dislike America, as much as America has given us some of the greatest opportunities as people of color. So because of that, there's going to be a great purge. Rome did the same thing, brothers and sisters, during the gladiators. You know, there were certain people of our nation that were given position and power because they were great warriors or fighters, or great basketball players or football players. So they were given, you know, position, our license to continue to break the will of the Most High. And through that example, now all our people are striving to be these few things. All the black folks in America can't play basketball, football, baseball, soccer, what else we got, hockey, and then think we're gonna survive off that.
Oh, you forgot rapping.
Oh yeah, rapping, yeah, but you don't even get that money. You only get Jewish people make more money off rapping.
They make all the
Yeah, it killed me. Why did Michael Jackson need a Jewish manager or producer to be Michael Jackson? Why did he need that? He was Michael Jackson without any of that. And the second Prince realized that, they killed him. Right, the internet's a beautiful thing. I don't need a producer no more. I don't need an agent. Just drop your music on the internet. Now you execute out. So Capitol Records killing Michael Jackson, and Sony Records kill Prince. And they both owned by the same person. So it really wouldn't
Like
matter.
everything.
Yeah, like everything.
If you watch every movie in the background, it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, no matter independent, then it's got the by Warner
Yeah,
Brothers.
by Warner
It's a
Brothers.
monopoly.
4 families own everything. It's always been that. The 4 Rothschild, it was 5 Rothschild boys, 5 of them. They own everything. His Rothschilds sent his 5 boys out, 5 different countries, established banks, loaned the country's money, and ever since then, everybody's been under the grasp with the Rothschilds. Nothing you can do. Red Shield. That's what it is.
You know, Avis and then Budget car rental companies competing. Same company. I used to work for them. We used to work the help desk.
Man, same thing. The
Same
Mirage and the Excalibur, Circus, all that same. Binion and what's the dude that on the Mirage? Steve Wynn. Binion is an old cowboy that came to Vegas first. He dead now, but he owned all the downtown, old Las Vegas, and 3 or 4 hotels on the strip. And Steve Wynn and them got everything else. And then if Steve Wynn don't got it, Caesar's Palace Corporation owns everything else. That's how Vegas is built. It make no sense. One of the richest in Vegas, everybody can be a millionaire and won't hurt no casino. And yet there's more poverty there.
Yeah. Once you leave that strip, all that money's concentrated on those hotels. You go outside of it.
We tell everybody don't leave the strip. Cause I can tell them about Northtown, Sister Tanya, and the West Side. I took about a family member house. We didn't stop because they gonna ask for something. I just drove by like, hey, those my people right there. And she like, no, nobody live there. I'm like, yeah, those my cousins. And that's just what it is, and it's no big thing. And we drive by them all the time when we live there. And
Atlantic City's the city, Jersey.
but she can't talk. I've been to Mississippi, Black Hawk, Iuka. Y'all don't want to be back there in those areas.
Black Hawk Down.
Right, Mississippi. Black Hawk, Mississippi. I told people, yeah, I've been to Mississippi, Black Hawk. They said, where? I said, well, how about this? An hour outside of where Oprah lived. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because that's
No offense, Mississippi's a flyover state.
right. North Carolina, all those. These are flyover places that you don't. Philadelphia is a flyover place for me.
Yeah.
Now. I don't ever want to go.
Philly's rough. I'm from
bad.
New York. Philly's like
Philly's bad, y'all. It don't take long to
Those guys
realize.
have no brotherhood out there, man.
There ain't no brotherly love out there. But they say they tried to beat up Santa Claus. Ain't no brotherly love out there. Where we at, James? Oh yeah, the sandwiches. Oh, when you can get there, get the sandwich and fly out.
Yeah, you get them Philly cheesesteaks.
They good,
That's
man.
good.
Don't stay. Don't eat your sandwich there. Eat
Right.
your sandwich, get right back on the plane.
Eat it and run. That'd be your last sandwich.
If you stay there, it will. James, right? James 4, go right into it, brother.
James chapter 4, verse 1. For whence comes wars and fighting among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High?
Meaning, if you good with the world and everything working out for you, you're enemies with the Most High, because the world is not bringing any type of righteousness. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore be a friend of this world is the enemy of the Most High.
Right, so guess who I ain't friends with? Obvious. You can't operate in this world and say you're going to operate with God. You cannot be a billionaire and say you love God. Because I know some of that money, millions of it, got blood on it. There's no way in the world Donald Trump can say he rich and ain't no blood on that money. The Bush family, none of them. Listen, the Rothschilds loan money so nations can go to war on purpose. They will fund both sides.
Right.
You know, they funded Napoleon and they funded the opposition to Napoleon. And then they sent bad news to Napoleon and said he was winning the war and he gave up, really, and really Napoleon was winning. But they just wanted to make sure that they kept both nations in debt. Then the bankers that gave Napoleon the money exiled Napoleon. You know that, right? Napoleon wasn't put to death. He was exiled by the same bankers that gave him the money. The banking is started by the Knights Templar. You know, murderers, you know, killers. They started your banking system. Right. And so, but banking is right? You charging me to take my money?
Yep.
They take Brother Kirk money, right? They give him 3% interest rate, right? Loan me money at 36% or 29% interest rate. But he only get 3%. But it's my money.
I put cash in the bank once and they charged me like $160. I'm like,
Hey,
I don't
give me
get-
your money.
I'm
I'll
not
keep
your
it for
bank.
you. You give me $100 to keep your money, I got you. Anybody want to give me their money to keep it, I got y'all.
Yeah, they try
just
to
bring
get
it,
it
just bring it up here, lay it on the
deposit.
table, put your name underneath it at the bottom. It don't matter where you put it, because you're only gonna get back a portion of it. Well, go read about the Great Depression. They just closed the banks. What did nothing happen? The bankers, all the bankers came together and said, just lock the doors from getting nobody their money. Great Depression. See? So
That's
what
when he came up with that FDIC insurance, which got 1,000 loopholes
Loopholes,
and ways
yeah.
out of it.
Right. And the only person they gave their money back to was Prescott Bush. Everybody else's money they kept. They kept your granddaddy's money. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because the banks are so in debt to the bankers, they can't even bring good laws against them. Because the Federal Reserve is crooked itself.
Right. And they get money on interest.
Dealing with the banks, there's no way around it. And when you owe somebody so much money, you have to give up sovereignty. That's how banks get over. I can go poison all the water because I got sovereignty because the country owes so much money. That's why Africa can't get up, because you know how much money it costs to build an oil rig? It's into the billions to trillions of dollars. So the people that own them won't give them to the Africans to get their own water or oil out the ground. So you have to bring in another nation that has the funding of the bankers. So when they bring up the oil and diamonds and everything out the ground, you get 10%, they get 90%. And then you're supposed to get out of debt from that. And out that 90, out of that 10%, you got to pay for the machine that they use to get the goods while they take the majority. That's the system in place. And we signed up for it. Hook, line, and sinker. All right, next scripture here.
Verse 5. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain,
In vain?
the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? But he giveth more grace, wherefore saith the Most High, resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to the Most High. Resist the devil and he will flee
Right.
from you.
You don't have to have superpowers to beat the devil. Just resist him. Like, no, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't drinking that. No, I ain't. And resist him. He got to go somewhere else. They no use of fighting against this wall because they're grounded. They're solid. They're not going to turn left or right. So then now he has to go attack the next person. That's why your righteousness is a very, very strong power that keeps you protected from the ills and the fiery darts of the devil. That's what Job did. Job kept the statute, laws, and commandments, and because of that, he had a hedge. I would get to Job. Yes, sir.
So imagine like you got a sweet tooth, cookies, Twinkies, whatever. So you don't keep it in the house because you know if you have it in the house and here in front of you, you're gonna eat it. It's the same thing with resisting the devil. If you don't bring that Twinkie in the house, you're not gonna eat it. So same thing. If you keep them at that distance, it's gonna be easier to resist. But
Right.
if you're dancing with them, you
Like
fall into
like the
it.
Joker said, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I love that statement. That's
Don't buy
Right.
those Twinkies.
don't not, right. Like I say, don't be tempted. Here, I can just go over there, hang out, won't get into nothing.
Right.
I don't hang with my I love my homeboys. I don't hang with them no more. Because I know what they're about. You know, they want to hang out, they want to rap, they got the little, studio in the bag, and they want to, like, gee, come over, we having fun. No, nah, I'm not doing that no more. Because I know to put myself in that surroundings, yeah, the first week I'm going to say no. Tomorrow I might say no again. But after 3-4 days of being tempted, you're going to break down with just a little. I'll nibble at it. Next thing you know, you covered in chocolate.
So I don't keep cookies at the house.
Oh, my bad. It's going down. Right. Where you at here? Yeah, I changed.
Ever ready?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Verse 9.
Cat batteries?
No, you can recharge these, can't you?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm with you. Cat
I think
batteries?
that's why you get your crackling though.
Oh.
We gotta step this up, man.
I get the door and say, right,
Do
like that
so.
came out my pocket. I'm with you, buddy.
You see what I gotta go through?
Verse 8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
You double-minded. Go ahead.
Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Most High, and he shall lift you up.
Right. Also.
Yes, sir. The Father gives grace to those who humbly ask for his forgiveness and work earnestly to get right. We oftentimes are puffed up with pride and through such reject the truth and grope at false doctrines to guide us along as if we are spiritually blind. Changing doctrine does not protect you from the Most High's judgment. Isn't it amazing how these lessons come through? We just was having a conversation about somebody was in the truth. Now he don't like us no more, and we're the devil, and the Bible's a lie,
Right.
and all this other stuff.
So now, because now, if I believe that, now I'm not responsible for my actions. Right. See, now I can get away with whatever I want to do and then justify it, and none of it's real. Yeah. The same people were saying that when this old man was building a boat in the desert. They were saying the same thing. Get a job. Stop drinking. You're drunk. If you building a boat in the desert, bro, really think about it. It had never rained. See, y'all got to get yourself in a state of mind. Now, that was me walking by Noah. Oh, I'd have been killing Noah. Oh, yeah. I'd be like, what are you doing, bro? Put the hammer down. Man, this is a desert, bro. Come on, man. Get some water. Come sit next to me, Noah. Let's relax. And you don't think man was walking by saying that all day, every day? Remember, water didn't fall from the sky, brothers and sisters. Water
Yeah, it
came
just
from
come
the
through the ground
ground.
like
A
a
dew
morning
came up.
dew.
So they had never understood. So when Noah's saying it's going to rain and flood out the earth, the giants knew it, but the common everyday man that was operating didn't. See, the giants came to Enoch before all of this and said, Enoch, go to the Most High, because Enoch was going back and forth into the Garden of Eden. See, people don't know that. Enoch had an opportunity, or was given access to go into the Garden of Eden, and then he was transliterated to go into the heavens, because the Garden of Eden is a level of heaven.
The giants were like, put in a good word
Right,
for
put in a
us,
good
we're
word for
sorry.
us. Yeah, we're sorry for this sin. And Enoch went to go talk to Christ, and Christ said, no, I heard the conversation. I seen it. Tell them there will be no forgiveness of sin for them. Why? Because they were in the heavens, and they saw the Most High. They knew his power, and yet you still went against it. No, we did. So then now they started to do what? Dig underground. They started to try to get into the moon. That's why the moon is pot shot, because all the stones that came up from the water coming from underneath the ground, pot shotted the moon.
They thought they could hide on the moon.
Thought they could hide on the moon. Yeah, there's no getting away from this. The Most High was operating with these people because they did high level sins. Where we at here?
Romans.
Yes, sir. Romans 3 and 3?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go right into it.
Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
Right, just because you don't believe we the children of Israel and that Christ coming back, just because you don't believe me, it's going to make your non-belief is going to become reality. Go ahead.
God forbid.
No. Go ahead.
Ye let the Most High be true, but every man a liar.
Read that again.
Let the Most High be
Let
true.
this Bible be real, the truth, and every man what?
Be every man a liar.
Keep your opinion to yourself. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. If you ain't doing that, get on. I had a dude tell me the other day, Charles was there, that the Levi priesthoods are going to control the Leviathan. I said, no problem, brother. Give me the scripture. I'm with you on that one. I agree. If anybody going to control the Leviathan, should be them. Show me that scripture. Well, yeah, no, it ain't no scripture that say that. Okay, so where did you get that from?
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. You. Yeah, the new Bible is YouTube. You might just put YouTube on the back of these. I bet you we'll sell tons of these. Hey, Sister Tanya, mental note, YouTube on the books of the Bibles. Because
They
that's
try
what
to use that absence of evidence as evidence of absence.
Right, is that what I'm using?
Can you find it? Nah. Can
But
you
it's
not?
there.
Can you find it? It's not there.
Right. Who said Levi can't
Who
do
said
it?
it's not? So,
But don't. But and hold on. But this is a brother that was given to me as a teacher, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy is a teacher, teaching brothers this madness. Oh, they ain't the worst one. Eve and the serpent got close to each other.
yeah, I heard that one.
Right. Now this is.
I
I'm
heard
like,
that one.
where's y'all reading this stuff at? Where's y'all getting these books from? I need a copy of these books because I want to read it too. I want to feel dumb. I mean, enlightened. I want to feel that way as well. Give me the book. No books though. We got any books yet?
Right.
No. No books. No books.
And so that's their mentality. If you can't find what I'm saying against it in the Bible, then it's real. It's like,
Right.
wait a minute.
Right,
Well,
right.
Okay. I didn't see anything about Smurfs in the Bible.
Right. Yeah. But you know,
Smurfs are real,
there you
right?
go. Smurfette, Sleepy Smurf, Brainy. We had good commentary. One more.
The rest of verse 4. That thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Yeah, because the Bible tells us to prove all things, and so through precept we are able to prove everything we believe in. Officer.
Yes, sir. The Most High is faithful in his judgment, and our foolish pride can't save us. It was proud men who were responsible for the death of Christ. And let's jump over to Matthew 15:7.
Right, and remember, Christ was killed. He says it's expedient that one man should die to save a nation. So it was their arrogance to be like, let Christ be destroyed by the Romans so we can continue to hold our position. And not 70 years later, the Romans came in and smashed it all anyway. So you sacrifice your Savior for what, 70 more years of rulership to be killed anyway? Nonsense. And a lot of people are going to do the same thing, going to deny the Bible for a few more years of living in the world, or a couple more dollars in their pocket, and yet it's going to cost them their soul for the long run. Matthew 15:7. Go right ahead, brother.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
You the best. I love the way you dress. You the man. As soon as I leave, hey, man, I will give that brother and his mama. First, I'm from a place where people cutthroat when they talk about you. They don't care what they say about you, how they say it to you. Really. And believe me, I know y'all from the same place. I done heard some people say some wild things about own family members and own people that, you know, and don't get me wrong, I've been guilty of it too. Who all just say, I hate my mama when you was mad as a little kid. I wish she get hit by a car. Right? Knowing goodness well we don't mean it, and the Most High had grace on us. But we got adults that act the exact same way right now. Brothers and sisters don't get along. I ain't talked to my sister in almost 10 years. And not because I won't talk to her, I talk to her as soon as she give me a call. I'm not gonna go look for her. You made the breach with my mother. So you wanna come back into the fold, just make a simple phone call. I'm not gonna chase everybody that feel like they wanna take you. Do you think your presence away from me is hurting me? I ain't never coming back around here no more. I work at a barbershop. I hear that all day.
Until you see them again.
Right, till they back. Yeah, G, but yeah, come on. Remember the brother came around? His brother was nodding himself. Don't worry about it. He was just tearing his own self up. And then I want to come back to the barbershop for the remedy. So you know me, I'm going to say something. And I'm going to be polite with it as much as possible, but don't come in the barbershop with your line. Matthew, where we at in Matthew, brother?
Verse 9.
Yes, sir.
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Commandments of men. See, everybody want to follow me. Yeah, I follow this dude. He gave me this. Or this dude real good. Debate with him. I ain't doing none of that, brother. We don't read the Bible together. You Israel, keeping the commandments. You keeping the commandments. That's what my conversation is. If yes is yes, then we good. We ain't got nothing to debate about. I don't care. You want to go to church on Sunday? Go ahead, Israelites. You wouldn't be the first Israelite to go to church on a Sunday. Remember, the pagans united. You would go to church on Saturday and Sunday for a time. Then they just moved Saturday out the way and just kept going on Sunday. Why? Because the pagans kept getting positions in the church. So I don't need to debate about what, if you want to go on Sunday, if your God work on Sunday, and you're an Israelite, that's fine. You wouldn't be the first Israelite to worship Yahweh. And you ain't going to be the last. You ain't going to be the first Israelite to sacrifice your child to the Canaanite God. That is not new, so I'm not going to debate with you for that. Have at it. I'm going with Sabbath, and I'm going with I am. Some of you, anything else after that? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man.
This defiles a man. What you do and say to your brothers and sisters, that's going to bring offense. It's going to defile you. It said, before you offend even one of my little ones, it's better that you put a millstone around your neck and cast yourself into the ocean. That's how serious the Most High is about offending each other. And when he's saying little ones, he ain't talking about children. He's talking about, to the Most High, everybody is a little one. No one is walking around here of themselves shouldn't feel like they're a little one. So if I offend you, now if I do it unknowingly, come to me and tell me and let me fix the breach. But if I offend you knowingly and I'm causing a heresy, it's better for me just to cast myself into the ocean, because I'm going to receive the same judgment for that destruction of my brother. That's why we tell people, when there's brothers that then left this church and then baptized people and they did all this stuff, and then now they ain't doing nothing. So the people they didn't took away and all this destruction they done made, now it's just out there floating. sitting back in their arrogance, thinking that what they did was good. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. How? Now you ain't following, and the people that you took away ain't following. Now what? Right, now all that blood, see, people don't get that. That blood now on you.
And when he says offense, we don't mean like, oh, I stepped on your shoe. We're talking about coming after someone unrighteously.
Right. An offense, like you getting ready to go at this person purposely.
Exactly.
Right, and no matter what it is, whatever it takes, and then and you're stubborn in your way. Well, I don't care. Now, yeah, all right. I don't like you because of this, and now because of that, I'm everything. My action is going to be against you. The Bible said, "If light be your darkness, how great is that darkness?" If you're looking at your brother with a dark eye, so everything your brother gonna do is gonna be on your nerves. Y'all know I'm not the only one that's been there. When somebody you just don't like, it ain't nothing. Why you breathing? Why you sitting so close to me? Like, you know, everything they do is gonna get on your nerve. We all been there. Let's not play like we all saints and everybody walk around with a cross tattooed on them. Come on, get this real. I'm black. I've been black I've been dark black a long time. So right, and you know, being dark black, you don't get no shortcuts or no hookups or nothing like that. You got to do it from the street to the sidewalk. There's no cuts for us, right? It's rarely that somebody say, "Hey, you dark, I'm gonna do you a favor." Doesn't happen that way. I'm not mad because y'all light-skinned brothers get it a little bit better. It's okay. I'm with y'all. I love y'all.
You know, I walked in the store the other day. Lady looked, and I was on the right. She moved the purse over.
Oh yeah, all day. Oh, lock the doors.
First thief now, right? Good thing I'm in the truth. I was that close.
Right. Oh, these Karens is killing me. I love Karens.
I
love
I'm
the
a purse thief. Okay. It was like automatic, like Pavlovian response.
Right, it's not
gag
you.
reflex.
Yeah, you know why? You know, shove them down their armpit like this. Yeah. Oh, don't even be in the elevator. Have you ever been in the elevator? Oh. You might have a gun.
Yeah, they look up.
Right. For
Oh, yeah, I've
real.
been there.
Oh, we was in Vegas all in the elevator as a family. They looked in. Yeah, we're waiting for the next one. Yeah, no problem. I didn't want you in here breathing COVID on me anyway. Well, better, you know. And I had the little ninja man, so I look like a, you know, like a Christ. Yeah, right. Nah, they're not dealing with us like that, bro.
What countries your people oppressed?
Right, right.
Who have you subjected? You scared of me. I'm
scared of me,
Like,
right.
oh, here he comes.
Here he comes. Oh no,
These
let's
guys
take a
kill nations. We should
Man.
be the ones shell shocked.
shell shock. Right, you started the KKK. We walking around on eggshells, huh? You can't, and especially in New York. There's certain streets in New York you can't even walk down. Like, you know, Jewish people got their own neighborhoods. You know, Jesse Jackson called it Jaime Town when they beat up the brothers from walking through their neighborhoods. But that's, you can walk through, you can walk through Puerto Rican neighborhoods and get the same thing. You can walk through, even here, you can walk through Mexican neighborhood and get the same thing. You can walk through your own neighborhood and get the same thing. I know, because I wear blue and they wear red. I lived it, I know it. But now that you've been a grown man, we know how to bring that subject. We had to subject ourselves and now teach our family and friends, like, hey, I'm not operating with you on that. I'm not going with that hatred for everything. Brother, if you ain't loving everybody that want to love you, you're going to be destroyed. If you want to love me and help me with this, brother, I'm bringing it. Come on in. Because believe me, brothers and sisters, there's going to be people that look like you trying to destroy you, and there's going to be people that don't look like you that's trying to destroy you. But the people that are going to have the most success is who? The people that look like you. Because you're going to let them right on in. And brothers shall go in their brother's house for the lack of bread.
That's coming.
Then that's coming very soon. So don't think just because you love me and smile with me right now because we got a pocket full of money. When everything go bad, those same friends that's in the world that you call your homeboys and homegirls, hey, I know sister such and such got some food over there because she an Israelite and they've been, you know, praying for this day. Let's go over there and see what they got. You know, then putting in, hey girl, how you doing? Boom, boom, kicking the door, they raiding your house. Expect that. If you don't believe it now, they'll show you better. Hey, what is out there? I can show you better. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 12. Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest that thou that the Pharisees were offended? And after they heard this saying, but he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Key thing, let them alone.
Yep.
Stop trying to fix them. Stop trying to cure them. Leave them alone. Leave them to their own devices. Let the Most High do that. All you can do is tell them what it is, right? And then dust your feet off. The dust off your feet, because it'd be worse for Sodom and Gomorrah It's going to be worse for these. It was better for Sodom and Gomorrah than the people in this land that deny the prophets and the people that's trying to teach you. They're going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. We know Sodom and Gomorrah was rained down with hell and brimstone. So if this city want to deny it, hey, have it. I did my part. I preached to y'all. I told y'all, now y'all blood is off my hands. Now I'm good. That's what Pilate was trying to show us, why he washed his hands. He was trying to, but you couldn't get away from that.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one. That's the blood you can't wash off. You know what I'm saying? And they killed Pilate. Yeah, they killed Pilate soon after. All right, it's the last verse. Oh yes, sir.
Yet our prideful words also condemn us. We must be humble in speech as well. As well, so not to be defiled. One of the biggest ways that we fall is our own foolish statements, which come forth from the rebelliousness of our hearts. This is a characteristic of spiritual blindness, which also leads us down a path of blindness, which blinds us from the severity of the prophecies yet to come.
All right. And we're going to read Deuteronomy 28:28. Go right ahead, brother.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 28. The Most High shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Ain't no man going to come and get a speech to get you about your predicament. Officer?
Yes, sir. Spiritual blindness is a curse that came upon our people. In the truth, we oftentimes claim that we can see, but yet through the same foolish pride, we continue the curses from long ago. This simple fact proves that our stiff-necked and prideful sins can't stop prophecy, but rather causes us to fall victim to it.
Right, right. And exactly. And if you go into Deuteronomy 28 and read the whole chapter, you see what's befallen us because of our ignorance, pride, and hard-headedness. These are, like you said, pride doesn't stop prophecy. Matter of fact, your pride is going to make you more susceptible to the judgments in prophecy. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Most High.
Do y'all understand what that's saying here? He's using an example of a marriage to show what we've done to him. If a woman was married to one brother and leave and go marry another brother, and then leave that brother to come back to me, you taking her back? Now, I said something I regretted one time. I was with a person, and I said, hey, I don't buy used cars. Right, that was wrong of me. Right, I had to apologize. But that's what the Most High is saying. And he's even yet saying, no, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to let you go off and deal with all the other gods, Buddha, Allah, Krishna. Because Israel has polluted themselves with every god on the planet. And yet he's still going to bring us back, wash us and make us anew. Because we wouldn't do it. That's why I'm glad man ain't God. Because we wouldn't accept Israel back after what Israel has done as a nation. Remember, we sacrifice our children to the star of Moloch as well. That ain't on them. We ate our own children as well. We followed the other nation worship. We worship Lucifer as good as the other nation. It was that Ezekiel, Isaiah, when we was at the porch praying to the rising sun to the east. And he said, you want to see a greater abomination than that? Had the women weeping to Tammuz. Women standing in front of the church weeping to the cross, Tammuz, the incarnated son between Isis and Osiris. We were doing that. So we don't have no ground to stand on saying the Most High chose us because we were this. The Most High seen us do everything the Gentiles do and still yet brings us back. That's how much more that he loves us. That's why the Most High was telling Edris, you think you love these people more than me? I'm going to let them go deal with every person and then come back and be with me? And still yet be honorable people? If that ain't grace and love, I don't know what is. That's why I say, shouldn't nobody go to heaven? Heaven should nobody that made it on earth outside of Idris, Abraham, you know, the prophets that really did an amazing job by never breaking the law. But this time, the last 400 years, we blessed, brothers and sisters.
It's Ezekiel you're talking about.
Yeah, Ezekiel, yes. It's Ezekiel. Ezekiel 8 and 15.
15.
Yeah, 8 and 15. Where the Most High is showing Ezekiel the abominations that was going on in the temple. So we have no room to throw stones at nobody else. If we're going to throw a stone, start with the mirror. And then start throwing. All right, where we at here?
Verse Number 2.
Yes, sir.
Lift up thine eyes unto the high places, and see where thou hast not been in lean with. In the ways hast thou sat for them, as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness.
All right.
Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there hath been no latter rain. Thou hast a whore's forehead, thou refusest to be ashamed.
Man, that's, you have a whore's forehead, right? Lofty, and you refuse to be ashamed of the wickedness that Israel's doing in America. We ain't even ashamed of none of it. If a man can put on a wig with a beard and some red bottom shoes and walk around and not be ashamed, listen, man, sisters, y'all should be jumping cats like that. Y'all see a man walk out like that, y'all should jump. Why? Y'all allowing that? We ain't allowing that.
He's your enemy.
Yeah, he's saying I'm a better woman than you with a beard. With a beard. Y'all ain't seen him yet? Wait till y'all run into him. Y'all run into
I've
him.
understood that. They
Yeah.
have these women, they have these gay guys.
Listen, the new biggest barber right now is this new barber in, I guess, in the world, the system. This guy got on Dockers, a dress shirt, a purse, and red bottom shoes, cutting hair. And they paying him thousands and hundreds of dollars for haircuts. Just because he wear pumps while he cutting hair. Haircut ain't no better than what we do anywhere else.
Besides you?
I'm not wearing pumps. If you give me $500 to wear pumps and cut your hair, you ain't getting a haircut. I cut it for free, with regular shoes on. But you think I'm putting on pumps? First of all, anybody know that work on their feet that stand up 8 times a day? Working in high heel shoes? Hold on, but you got on the 13 because you a dude.
Was that woman's?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You still got the video? You still, if anybody wants to access to tell you about the video, it's a dude cutting hair, making chunks of money because he's filming them. And this is in Atlanta, so you know he's right where he should be.
That's standard procedure.
Yeah, right there, yeah, on top. They ask you when you get off the plane. What side you want to fly on? The blue side, whatever side is blue or straight.
The pink side.
Yeah, the pink side is catching on fire. Hey, don't get caught by it. I've been running to a lot of people from Atlanta. It's a lot of deception going on out there. They're not being upfront with it. They just, you'll find out when you get them in the room.
Or when you get the test.
Right out. But he telling the truth. You'll find out. You'll find out when your homeboys walk up to you laughing. Or when your name is scattered all through. Ask the Dwight Howard.
I've never been there. I've been to the airport.
Man, I'm telling you, I used to work at the state line in between California and Las Vegas at Whiskey Pete's and all that. And you see a group of beautiful women come in. You're like, well, where are all these women, you know? And those are all dudes. Those are all dudes. I mean, they got it, the lace fronts,
Yeah.
the lipsticks. I mean, if you didn't look at their throat and these, you know, these hands like Dr. J, right, you... Hey, how you doing? He ain't got my whole hand circumference. Right. I'm like,
You know, I used to work as a bouncer when I was like 19, and then I didn't do Saturdays, but we did Saturdays, and it was,
oh, I was sure in New York. I mean, that's another capital of
yeah.
transgender.
That was a traumatic night. I never did Saturdays again.
Ridiculous. They no shame.
Yep. Did
No.
you see him across the street? Like, oh, that girl's hot.
Yeah, no shame. Hey, like Dave Chappelle said, he danced with one for 3 songs.
He made 3, huh?
Right. He didn't know. He said for 3 songs. He said, might well finish. You didn't dance all these songs. Well, no. It's the instantaneous. I mean, I'm going to jail or I'm going, but now I'm going to walk off because I'm a grown man now. But back in the days, and that's the new thing. They don't like other guys they like straight guys. Why? Why? I mean, I don't even understand. Why does a guy would need to date a guy that's dressed up like a woman? How about we just date a woman?
That's the spirit trying to get
Right.
other spirits to go into the
Right. Right. What? Listen, that's not realistic as a man. I didn't even put on lotion today. Did you put on lotion? I didn't put on lotion. So what man finna send?
I heard it. I remember I used to kiss my dad goodnight as a kid. I'm like, man, he's grisly.
Right.
So who would want to sign up for that?
Who's signing up for that? Who's
So
going
gross.
to? Hold on. Do they normally sell 15 size shoes at the girl store?
That's what I'm saying. It
Don't
wasn't
they have to
custom.
order those?
Comes from China or something.
It meant you come from hell, Satan downstairs, making 15s and 19s.
I used to work at a shoe shop. This guy used to come and get the ones that come all the way. Oh yeah, he was like, oh yeah, it's just a gag. I'm like, these things are $200.
Hey,
He was there like every month buying
Hey!
hooker shoes.
apparently they have no issue with cash flow.
I'm thinking,
They have no issue with cash flow. You would think it would be an issue, but
you look at the guy, he looked like a, mild-mannered reporter.
right, that's right.
normal guy.
Don Lemon. Y'all don't think y'all sit back and comfortable with Don Lemon every day. And it's ridiculous. Everybody knows what he is. With a Black Lives Matter shirt on, but at home married to another man that's outside the nation. You can't listen, you can't give me any information as a gay man towards a straight man. We're not on the same wavelength. What you think is proper is not proper for me. Because you're going to think it's all relative. It's okay. Oh, no, it's okay. As long as we don't push it on you. Well, nobody told us that. Right, because we've been being destroyed just for being black outside. And we wasn't pushing black on nobody. Right? We're in our own neighborhoods, and yet that still wasn't
That's a
enough.
problem.
That's a problem. Right, so, and then sometimes that's why you think they had to kill Pac and Biggie around a certain time of this? Because to bring in the feminine side of gayness wasn't gonna. Can you see Biggie in some skinny jeans? I can't.
I think enough time, yes.
No. You had to see Biggie
Hey, I
in real
like
life.
Biggie, but
I love
I'm just
him. I'm not a
saying-
Biggie fan, but
Look.
there's no way.
Listen, I've seen Biggie. It was like Yeshaya came to town. We was at the mall, and I saw like this long crowd. I'm like, what? I mean, looked like the whole mall was just walking after one guy, and it was Biggie.
Yeah.
And somebody's like in the background, he touched my hand.
Right.
Like, it was just crazy.
Right. But the month before, he was getting kicked out of the police. They were calling the police on him because he was selling dope in front of his stoop in New York. But a month later, he famous. Now they running up behind. Like Pop said the same thing. There was a time when y'all was trying to fight me and call the police on me. Now y'all all running up to me and trying to act like I'm the same dude before I was famous, even now. So what is that telling me? That people don't love you for what you are. They love you for what they think they can get out you. Well, no, if you ever saw Biggie in real life, which I did up close, you're not running after him.
no, I remember he said in his song. I'm
Yeah,
black
big,
and ugly.
black, ugly as ever. He at least he was wise enough to not to deceive himself to think he looked good because these women are chasing him because he looked good. At least he had that realness about himself. But that's what the world is. The world only loves you when you're up. Because look how remember when Michael Jackson was the man?
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't walk down the street without fame. Michael Jackson was allowed to hang a white baby outside and didn't go to jail, right? That's amazing, right? But when he went down on his fall,
And it's the same routine. They get him up to this height just for that fall.
just for that fall, because they love it. They love to see your fall, because then in your fall, your people become weaker because of it. Michael Jackson being accused as a pedophile, it didn't just affect Michael Jackson. Now, who became the pedophiles in the eyes of the world? Who are the original pedophiles? Let's just say the Romans, right? But who now, though? Who's been targeted with this now more than anybody else? R. Kelly? Huh? You mean R. Kelly? R. Kelly in the 90s was the first to start dealing with. What about Jerry Lee Lewis? I'm sure Elvis married a 14-year-old. I'm sure of that because I saw the documentary. Who else in that? I mean, come on. Let's not play games.
Woody
It's-
Allen, right?
Oh my
Married his own.
daughter that he adopted, and his wife sat there and watched.
You don't hear about that.
Never, and because he make movies and he's Jewish and he's protected. That's simple. It's
Their kingdom, so
yeah. They mad at him. Hey, if that's what your people that you do have that. John 10 and 1?
No.
Oh, commentary? Yes, sir.
The Father compared our people to that of a prostitute who was not ashamed of her profession. Even after that comparison, he still is just waiting for our humility so we can receive the kingdom, but our pride knows no bounds.
Knows no bounds.
Now we're at John 10.
Yes, John 10 and 1, whenever you're ready, sir.
All right. John chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entered not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth upon some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will not follow, or a stranger they will not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of the strangers. Verse 6. This parable speak Yeshaya unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spoke unto them. Then said Yeshua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers.
Meaning everybody came with religions before Christ established it with thieves and robbers. Meaning every religion is stealing from the children of Israel. Look at it. Look how they set their systems up. So he's saying everybody came from me that's executing in this way, thieves and robbers. Go ahead.
But the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find
You
pasture.
heard him, by me. Through me that I allow the sheep to go in and out, those will be approved by me. And they'll be in a good state. But the ones that Christ don't approve, be away from me, for I know you not, ye workers of iniquity. Go ahead.
Verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly.
Right, so we know the thief came, not only stole us, but this land, and continued to steal the rest of the world, right? But the Most High said, but I am come by that might have life, and that they might have more of it abundantly. Meaning Christ is coming not only to deliver us in this world, but to bring us a new life into heaven, and we're going to have everything we want, even more abundantly than what we can imagine. I'm going to give you things you can't even imagine. And I have a great imagination, but Christ is coming like, I'm going to show you things that you haven't ever even known or seen. Because in this spacesuit, you've been dumbed down. Once you break through this spacesuit, there's another natural connection to the spiritual world that's beyond your understanding. You're being disconnected. There's a border between you and the connection of the Most High. And the only way to get connected to it even better is to deny the flesh. That's why when you're fasting, the flesh is dying, so the spiritual man can have more of a connection to the Most High. That's why when the Most High dealt with anybody, they first did a fast. You know, Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights up in the ship with Christ getting the commandments. Remember, he was gone for 30 days, and no one knows what happened to this Moses. Christ fasted for 40 days. Esdras fasted for 40 days. It's a 40-day fast where the body gets to a point to where it's not interfering with the spiritual connection with the Most High. That's why fasting, that's why the Most High said some of these demons and issues you're going to have, you got to fast and pray out. Telling the disciples, you guys are going to have to fast and pray to cast out some of these demons, because some of these demons are going to have hold on these people on such a high level that you're going to need that power given through that fasting, that spiritual connection that you make. All right? Where we at here?
Commentary.
Yes, sir. Commentary.
Yeah, there's no other way into the kingdom. You must learn to follow the guidelines given in the word, or suffer the consequences. Israel always tries to get in some other way, but the real people of the kingdom will seek the path less traveled. And let's go to Matthew 7 and 13.
Yes, sir. All right.
St. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in therein, there be which go in thereat, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Few that find it. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Verse 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, be their fruits ye shall know them, or by their fruits ye shall know them. Verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
Right. So in other words, everybody that say they love Jesus and Christians ain't going to heaven unless they do what? The will of my Father. What's the will of the Father? The commandments. So all these Christians saying the commandments are done away with, they already sealed their own fate. What's the love of God? That you keep the commandments. So if you're going to keep the commandments and follow the Most High, that's the key in. But if not, you're going to find that broad way. You know, Christianity is broad. Everybody can be a Christian. Just bring a Christmas tree and some Easter eggs, and you're in. And offering, I forgot about offering tithing. Creative flow of dollars, Candy, you know what I'm saying, Joel Myers, all these people that got all these millions of dollars but won't even open their church when their own city flood out. Those people, they going to heaven. But these Israelites is in the corner that's got to dodge the police and dodge society. Nah, they're not going nowhere. See, in the land that said you're not God's people, in the same land you should be known as the people of the living God. If you're not listening to these little scriptures that identify God's people in this land of captivity, just to choose to ignore it. The other day, me and Charles was talking. I was talking about Nick Cannon. Now, I can see where Nick Cannon get caught up in this scenario. But when they made Nick Cannon bring that Jewish priest on as Nick Cannon, I was like, well, let me bring on my teacher that told me I was an Israelite so he could be here with me as well. Because if I'm not going to have a theologist or a Jewish Hebrew or a Jewish rabbi, shouldn't I be able to have an Israelite teacher that can go against this rabbi, and then now we can use these scriptures to come to an understanding? No. But Nick Cannon, I know you're smarter than that, because you don't make it in show business that high of a plateau and not be continent or understanding what's going on here. But I know as well, nobody is a superstar that's connected to the money is going to bring righteousness. Right. I don't think Shaq going to tell me what's right. I love Kobe, but I'm not going to listen to Kobe's advice because Kobe has a reason to lie. See? Because why? They want to continue to live in that world. As long as they continue to want to live in that world, we cannot trust the talking heads that you see on TV or playing sports or any area just because they share a color or because they believe in Black Lives Matter. So, if any Black Lives Matter, then the black people should be in this black book learning their black history so they can do what it takes to survive in the black world. I'm just using these things like a...
And stop coming after each other.
Exactly. Destroying each other. That would help more. Black lives got to matter amongst black people first.
Exactly.
I don't need nobody else to care about black lives until we care about ourselves. How can we tell other people to help us when we won't help ourselves? Mm-hmm. The Lord helped those who help themselves. Officer.
Yes, sir. Put down foolish pride and pick up humility and a newfound love for the ways of the Most High so that we can all reach the kingdom together. Shalom. That's the lesson.
All right, that's the lesson for today, all right? All right, now, we get ready to do the baptism class. So as soon as the class, we're prayed out, everybody's going to be in the class. Go into it because I'm teaching